Welcome! I'm so glad you're here. First, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to learn more. I know there are countless opportunities, advertisements, and opinions online, so I genuinely appreciate your willingness to take a closer look at something new. If you're here, I'm guessing something caught your attention. Maybe you've been thinking more about your future. Maybe you'd like to create additional income without giving up everything you're already doing. Or maybe you've simply reached a point where you're asking yourself, what do I want the next chapter of my life to look like? That was the question I found myself asking. For me, it wasn't that life was bad. I loved many parts of my life, but I also knew I wanted more flexibility, more freedom over my time, and more choices about what my future could look like. I wanted to build something that could grow alongside what I was already doing, rather than requiring me to completely turn my life upside down. Maybe you can relate. Maybe retirement is getting closer, and you're wondering whether you've prepared enough. Maybe you've experienced a job change, divorce, empty nest, move, or another unexpected turn. Or maybe things are going fairly well, but you've realized that doing okay isn't quite the same as feeling secure, fulfilled, and excited about the future. Whatever brought you here, I want you to know that you're not alone. I've spoken with so many people who aren't looking for a magic solution or an overnight promise. They're simply looking for a realistic way to create more income, flexibility, and breathing room. That's what led me to take a closer look at this business. A few years ago, I wasn't searching for another business. I was working in real estate, managing other responsibilities, and thinking more seriously about what I wanted my next chapter to look like. What I discovered wasn't what I expected. I found an online business with established products, a system already in place, step-by-step training, mentorship, and a community of ordinary people learning how to build something of their own. I also want to clarify what this is not. It is not a get-rich-quick promise. It is not about pressuring friends or family. You do not need to become an influencer, have thousands of followers, or be a technology expert. And you are not expected to know everything before you begin. This is a business, which means it requires learning, effort, practice, and consistency. Results are not guaranteed, and everyone's experience will be different. But you do not have to figure it all out alone. That was important to me because I wasn't interested in trying to create products, build complicated technology, manage inventory, or invent an entire business from scratch. I wanted a proven structure, training I could follow, and people I could turn to when I had questions. The company-created overview you're about to watch will explain the business in greater detail. It will introduce you to the basic model, how the system works, where income can come from, what support is available, and what your role would be if you decided to explore it further. You may still have questions afterward. That is completely normal. In fact, I believe you should have questions before making any important decision. My goal is not to convince you that this is right for you. My goal is to help you understand what you're looking at so that you can decide for yourself. As you watch, I encourage you to think about a few things. Does this business model make sense to you? Can you see yourself learning the skills? Would having additional income and greater flexibility make a meaningful difference in your life? And are you open to taking a closer look before deciding? You don't need to make any decisions right now. Simply watch the overview with an open mind, write down your questions, and pay attention to what stands out to you. This business may be exactly what you've been looking for, or it may not be, but either way, you'll be making that decision based on information rather than assumptions. Thank you again for being here. Let's take a look at how the business works.